Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nikki Vo, and I'm your host. I'm a boat owner, a marinas owner, an international conference presenter, and a huge advocate for boating. I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I am in Glasgow and I am talking to one of my dear friends, Ashlee Lally, who is co-owner and membership executive of her very own Freedom Boat Club on Loch Lomond.
Hi, Nikki. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so good to have you here. Well, so good to be here, actually.
Yes. We've been talking about this for years, so it's really great to have you up in Scotland, have you up at Loch Lomond, and giving you a proper tour of what we have to offer up here.
Yeah, so good. So Ashlee and I met at the FBC conference in Florida a couple of years ago and got on like a house on fire immediately. I think it was mainly because of my shoe collection, but
that is why it made me notice you. As far there's no one else that has a shoe collection like you. So that girl, I want to be her friend.
So it was really good to connect there, and we've stayed friends ever since, which has been lovely.
Yeah.
And I've followed your success and your amazing posts that you do about your club and so on and so forth. So yesterday, Darren and I got to actually experience being on the boat on the loch. So that was quite wonderful. So we're going to talk all about the club, but we're going to start with you as a person first, because you are a very dynamic, warm, lovely person.
Thank you.
And but your accent is an interesting one because you actually come from Texas, right?
Yeah, well, I grew up all over the States. We moved around quite a lot. So moved all over the US, lived in other countries as well. Came to Scotland about almost 20 years ago now, believe it or not. Time goes by so fast. So I've got this really weird kind of mixed accent that it confuses everyone, and it's just becomes a game now, you know, and anytime I introduce myself. So
yeah, that's so cool. So you came across to Scotland to actually go to uni, right?
Yep, went to Glasgow Uni. And then, as what often happens with people, you fall in love and you never look back. So came over to study and just stayed.
So you didn't fall in love with Glasgow, you fell in love with...
Well, I fell in love with everything here. I fell in love with Scotland, fell in love with the people, and then fell in love with my husband, who is also the co-owner of the Freedom Boat Club with me.
Nice. Yeah. So you and Mike run this business together.
We do.
Yeah. So that's an interesting element in itself, running a business with your partner, isn't it?
Yes. And I know that you understand that more than most. You know, it's a different dynamic when you're working and living with the same person. So yeah, it's been a learning curve.
Fair enough.
I think it's really hard sometimes to switch off as well, because when you're working with someone and then you're living with them, you could just go on forever, couldn't you? You could just never turn off and you could be working nonstop. So it's been great for us. I think it's actually made us closer. I don't think I could say that for any person. You know, I think you have to be with the right person for that. But it's been great for us and we've really enjoyed it. And obviously when your business is boats, it means that you get all these kind of special moments and, you know, being out on the boat in the water and out in the open air and traveling. I actually can't think of anything better that you could do with any other person.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool. So jumping back to how this all came about and all those sorts of things, you as a girl used to go boating with your family, right?
I did. Yeah, we grew up on boats. I think it's pretty typical in America, actually. Most people either have a boat or you have that friend who has a boat, So we would always have these, speed boats, and we grew up water skiing. My sister and I we lived in the water. We learned to water ski when we were probably 5 or 6. My dad, we used to have this game where we'd have the donuts in the back, and he would just whip us around like 100 miles an hour. And, whoever could roll the most across the lake was the winner, basically. And then you wake up the next day, whoever had the most bruises and the most like raw spots. But we loved it so much. So I really missed it. It's been a while since I owned boats, and Mike was the same. Mike owned boats as well. So we really wanted to get back to that. And I think slowly, like Freedom Boat Club was just such a great option for us. It really gave us something that we've been missing, I think, in life for a while. So it was just perfect.
Yeah, because you have another bunch of businesses as well, don't you? So that gave you the opportunity to invest in something like this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mike comes from a property development and construction background. I come from a charity background. I used to run lots of charities and hospitality before that. So that's all given us, a good foundation, a good basis to be where we are now. But I think we would love to eventually just completely focus on the boats and the people, building the membership, and really giving these like great experiences that we know that we can have, and sharing those with other people.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, I guess when people think of Scotland, they think of it being cold, wet,
Well, you've been here 3 days, and you have literally seen every single type of season, every type of weather, sometimes within like 3 minutes.
Exactly right.
So yeah. A little bit of everything here. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yeah. But the loch itself, I mean, it's beautiful.
Mm.
It really is stunning scenery.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good. When we go boating in Australia, for example, what we tend to do is jump on a boat. So our Freedom members would jump on a boat, go out from our marinas. They'd go to some quiet bay or beach or some space. Mm-hmm. They'd go for a swim. They'd have a picnic on the boat. They've put an esky on the boat, and they're drinking the beers and so on from there. Nice chilled drinks, Yeah. And they spend the time in the sun and the water just enjoying that. Now, obviously in Scotland, that's not something you think of doing, jumping in the water.
You wouldn't think so,
yeah.
But it actually happens all the time. Open water swimming is huge here. We actually have a sauna that sits on, not us personally, but there's a business next door to us that has a sauna, and it's right on the beach. And what they do is everyone jumps into the loch, and then they come into the sauna, and they just go back and forth. And because the health benefits of open water swimming are really becoming more well known and more popular.
Especially cold water.
Really the colder the better.
Yeah.
We don't need ice sponges here. You just jump in the loch, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids they're 8 and 5, and they go swimming every time we're at the loch. They have wetsuits, to be fair, but they're always swimming up there. And most of our members, they're keen water skiers, any kind of water sports, so they're all out there as well. So I think it's just what you grow up with and what you're used to. Because I grew up in Texas and other southern states where it's really warm. The Gulf of Mexico is roasting. And I wouldn't jump in the water here so much, but everyone else does. So I'm happy just to drive the boats and let them have that experience.
Yeah. But I think the point though is that Loch has an incredible number of places to visit.
Yes.
And actually go for lunch or hang out for a drink or...
Yeah.
So tell us about the boating experience of the loch specifically. Well, tell us the size of it for a start, because people probably don't understand just how big it is.
Loch Lomond is huge. It's about 26 miles, depending on which website you look at. And it's pretty much north to south, about 5 miles wide. Lots of really good deep water just to go flat out on. But there's also some beautiful shallow areas. There's about 22 islands in the middle of it, which is where our club is based, is right across a group of main islands. So it's a beautiful view when you step out in the clubhouse and you just see, all these islands, and you see the mist kind of coming over the water, and it's stunning. I think it's probably a British mentality a bit here, certainly a Scottish one, that people here like to dine, and they like a lunch, So a lot of the restaurants here have their own jetties. So, I mean, we're spoiled for choice. So not only can you go and visit the islands, you can go camping on the islands, you can do barbecues on them, very easily accessible. But you can go to any of the restaurants that have jetties and, pop in, go have a lunch, which is what we did yesterday. And that was fantastic. There's even a pub that's on an island here, so you can go there. They also do like events and ceilidhs. I don't know if you know what a ceilidh is.
No, what's a ceilidh?
Oh, so a ceilidh is a Scottish dance. It's something like you would see on TV. If you're like watching like Jane Austen movies and you see like they're doing like the partner dances. Well, that is kind of like a ceilidh, but ceilidh is like that times 100. It's wild. It's fast. You're being literally thrown across the room. And it's so much fun. Next time you're up, well, I'm definitely taking you to a ceilidh.
Brilliant.
But so they do things like that. And then everyone just goes home and it's great. But it's a very close-knit community up there. Everyone knows everyone, even though it's a really big area. And everyone looks out for each other. Like we've got different groups and there's like people are helping out. Oh, and my engine's died. We've towed several people and helped several people that were stuck, not our members, but other people that were out, and everyone's just really keen to help. Glasgow has a really good reputation for being like the friendliest city. And that's one of the reasons I fell in love with it. Yeah. Everyone's really looks after each other and gives you a really good experience when you're here.
Yeah. It's great.
It's family.
City.
Yeah.
I've never been here before, and it's a great city. Yeah. It really is awesome. Yeah.
Everyone thinks of Edinburgh, but Glasgow's the real place to be. Glasgow, Loch Lomond, that's where you want to be. Forget everywhere else.
No rivalry there at all.
Not at all.
No.
Just don't mention England. Don't mention anything else.
Yeah.
Gotta watch myself here.
No, I think the rivalry between Glasgow and Edinburgh is not dissimilar to between Sydney and Melbourne.
Probably.
Yeah. It's that sort of feel to it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the loch itself is quite a beautiful and wonderful space. As you say, we went there yesterday and the first island we went past had the tiny, tiny castle on it that was an amazing
Scotland's
story.
smallest castle,
Yeah. So that was incredible. And then, we went along and saw some beautiful views and incredible space and then went for a lovely lunch. That was so good. And literally, just pulled up to the jetty, tied her up, walked up along the jetty into lunch, enjoyed a really
as
nice
easy as
lunch.
that.
Yeah, super, super easy. So I know there's around sort of 20 venues around the loch that you can enjoy, isn't there, for your members?
Yeah, exactly. And there's lots of places that have public piers as well. You can pop up and, really nice villages. We've got everything from, medieval villages you can go visit, just to beautiful walks. The West Highland Way actually goes right along Loch Lomond as well, which is a really popular pilgrimage, but also like a hiking, walking destination. There's so much to see. You actually couldn't see Ben Lomond yesterday because it was so misty. The fog was all the way down, but there's a beautiful mountain there called Ben Lomond that you can go hiking up. I think our members are really spoiled for choice. There's so much you can do there and so much to see. And even I was telling you yesterday, every day you go, the view is completely different.
Yeah.
It just depends on even what time of day. So I'm biased, but I really like it here.
Yeah. Fair enough too. So just to explain to the listeners a little, if you're not aware of Freedom Boat Club, Freedom Boat Club is a really interesting concept. You join the club, so you don't own the boat in any way. You join the club owns the boats, and the members pay a joining fee, which is a decent amount of money because you are joining a club that has shelled out a lot of money for those boats and has services that you then enjoy. Yeah. But then you have a monthly fee ongoing. Let me stress that both the joining fee plus the monthly fee are nothing like what the cost of ownership of a boat is. So that is the value that is brought in this club. Do you have a new release of product or a new boat that you'd like us to review at a boat show? Get in touch at info@theboatprincess.com and our team will be very happy to chat with you about that. And Freedom Boat Clubs have clubs all over the world. So specifically, US is obviously the biggest area. They have a multitude of clubs. But I think it's 420 or so clubs worldwide.
We've surpassed that now. We're slowly creeping up to 450.
Wow.
I mean, almost every month we're adding a new club. Spain has just exploded. And in fact, one of my colleagues just visited the brand new club that opened in Barcelona, and see the pictures, like right in city center of Barcelona. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And he just had the best time.
Good. Yeah. We've just done it ourselves. As a Freedom Boat Club owner, we have a boat club at Bobbin Head, which is near St Ives, North Turramurra in Sydney. We have one at Lake Macquarie, and we have one at Pittwater on Homeport Marina as well. So Empire Marina Lake Macquarie has one, Empire Marina Bobbin Head has one, and Homeport Marina Pittwater has one. So that gives our members that join Bobbin Head, for example, that's called Freedom Boat Club Sydney North. Once they've joined that club, they can actually come to your club here in Scotland.
Exactly.
Can't they? Yeah.
And we would love that.
Yeah. So what's really exciting, I guess, is, we can all own a boat and that's fantastic, but we can't take that boat to Scotland.
No, and you wouldn't want to. You would not want the trailer and the hassle of that.
Yeah. So we take the hassle out of boating. We make it super, super easy. So just give the listeners an idea of the experience of Freedom Boat Club in terms of, how it operates.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's over 420 clubs now. And basically when you're a member, you can use your home club unlimited amount of times. But then you can use all the other clubs as well. So this month, I've got 4 members that are going out to different clubs in Spain. I've got 5 clubs in Mallorca, for example. Many of our members have second homes in France or Spain. So it really suits them because that means they can boat when they're here. But then when they go to the holiday home in Spain, they just show up. They are given the keys. It's already fueled. It's cleaned. The maintenance has already been serviced and ready to go. They just hop on. That's it.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that. And just reducing that hassle, in fact, eliminating it completely, is what most people are looking for in boating. And I know for a fact if we had Freedom Boat Club when I was growing up, that would have been the option, because the amount of times I heard my dad, cursing and complaining about the trailering or the storage fees, or, there's a problem with the engine and having to deal with that. No one wants the hassle to boat, but everyone wants the freedom to enjoy it. And that's what makes Freedom so special and so relevant to us these days.
We, having our clubs in Sydney and so on, so our one at Bobbin Head, we then went to Mallorca and we went to a club in Mallorca.
Yeah.
And then we've come up here and gone to a club in Scotland. So really different boating experiences, often with the same boats though, which makes life really
much
easy.
easier. Yeah.
So the boat, you just don't know the place you're going, which is kind of exciting in a way.
But you get training on all that as well. So every time you go to a new place, you're offered training, and you're also offered like top tips from the skippers that have lived there their whole life. And they'll tell you, oh, I really recommend going here. Or by the way, there's a pod of dolphins that's been spotted over there. I really recommend you going over there. So it's all those little things that add to the membership. And just to say as well, those reciprocal clubs, going to Spain, going to Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, wherever you're going, that's all included in the membership. There's no additional cost to that. And I can't think of any other club or membership that offers such a wide and vast opportunity like that.
Yeah. There's a you have to pay for fuel.
Yes.
You do have to pay for fuel,
yes,
which is understandable because some people go mad and some people don't use
go
it.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're going flat out for 8 hours and you're doing all the toys.
Yeah.
But the people that do that are doing it because they enjoy it, and they're not going to stop doing it because that's why they like to boat. They like all the toys, and they like, meeting their friends with jet skis and like making a day of it. And that's what we want. That's great. We want you to enjoy it in the way that you want and need to enjoy boating.
Yes. Yeah. So some will just poodle along and use very little fuel, and some will have a great time and use a bit more.
Exactly.
And then some countries, they might charge you for a captain because you can't drive there because you haven't got the right license for there and things like that. But the actual membership doesn't charge you a fee, as it were.
Exactly.
So you're just paying for extra services, if you like. That's all the additional
And
costs.
some people ask for a captain even if they have the license, because sometimes you just want to go and enjoy a few drinks and just sit back. And if you're in Spain and it's been a long week, you might just want to enjoy that last day and say, take me to a beach.
Yeah.
Let's anchor up. I want to go snorkeling. I want to go paddleboarding. I want to see something I've never seen before, do something I've never done. It's my last day. And that option's there too. And I just love the fact that you can choose which option you want depending on how you feel that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. And it's
Very
still
cool.
cheaper than actually hiring a boat for the day.
Yeah.
Like by far.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell me, you've got this amazing club on the Loch, but you also have 2 young children.
Yes.
And
don't you hear the tiredness and the fatigue in my voice? It's the last day of school today, and I'm just thinking, what am I going to do for the next 6 weeks? Summer camps. Oh my gosh.
So how do you juggle all of that?
So it's funny. I've had to completely change my working schedule. You have to, if you're owning a business, and there'll be so many men, but especially women, that this will resonate with. If you own a business and you have kids, your work schedule is going to be like crazy, and it has to be flexible. So normally the kids start school at 9. So I've got to do the school drop-offs, or Mike and I tag team it. But one of us is doing drop-offs, and then you come home, you got to get yourself ready. And then you're working until 3 o'clock. But at 3 o'clock, you've got to stop because you've got the school pickups. And then from there, you want to give your kids your time and focus. So you do that. You got to cook the dinner. You've got to do the homework. You've got to respond to all the messages from the teachers. And oh my gosh, there's that project tomorrow and that science experiment that we didn't do. And then I sit down and do that really quickly. And, all the usual chaos. And then you put them to bed. And then it's 8 o'clock and you got to go back to work.
Yeah.
And, for us, I'm usually working from 9 to 3, and then I'm off with the kids, and then back in the office. We've got a home office. So back in the office from 8 to, I would love to say that I stop at like 10 o'clock, but realistically, and I'm just going to be honest, I could be in there until 2 a.m. And if there's things going on, if there's an event that we're planning, I could easily be in there until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, Mike's been quite good about trying to remind me, okay, 9 o'clock, let's try to finish off. 10 o'clock, really, come on, we really need to go. And it's trying to make sure you have that work-life balance, trying to make sure everyone gets your time. But, our members are family to us as well. So making sure that they get a good amount of quality time with me too. But yeah, it takes a while to find that balance. We're only a few years in, but I think we're managing it pretty well so far. I don't feel burnt out, so that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Yeah, you don't look burnt out either.
Oh, thank you. I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee though, and it's only like 9 a.m, so I don't know what that says about me. I'm gonna be like buzzing later on.
No, it is interesting when you have small children in your own business. You are allowed to adapt that timing so that you do get the time with them.
Yeah.
But at the same, I remember myself, the age your kids are. 10, 11 at night was often when I got the work done.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing because on top of kids, I've got a dog who's mental. And Nikki and I have been sitting here like acting like everything's totally normal. And my dog is chasing her tail and just like running around like a total mental dog.
She has lost it, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's actually, but this is her norm. So, and she's just staring at us like, what's going on? I just like how Nikki and I are like, this is totally normal. This is nothing new here.
Just another day.
But Nikki knows me, so she knows like this actually is my normal. Like usually it's the dog running in circles like she's doing now, and then the kids are also chasing her running in circles. So yeah, at least this is like semi-calm.
Absolutely.
You know what it is? It's because we're talking about boats, and she's like, I really want to be on the boat. Because, all of our boats are dog friendly. It's another really cool thing about Freedom Boat Club.
Yeah.
Something a bit different. I mean, yourself, when you're trying to like travel somewhere and you're looking for an Airbnb and nothing is dog friendly, you can't bring your dog anywhere. And you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, it's the same with Freedom Boat Club. We want to make sure that we're catering to everyone. And because all the boats are cleaned so well and to such a high standard afterwards, you would never know whether someone had a dog on before or after. So you can bring your dog. Our dog loves to swim and chase. We've got swans and ducks and Canadian geese. You saw all 3 of those yesterday, Nikki.
Yes.
So she has the best time. So yeah, it is something for the full family. And that's why I think Freedom Boat Club is so great with a young family as well, because my kids come up with me and they go on the paddle boards while I'm letting the members out. You know, the dog is out running and chasing ducks or being chased by a swan. And it might look mental to other people looking in, but it kind of works for us, and the chaos just kind of fits in really nicely.
Yeah. And you are there, you're still there with your children even though you're working.
Exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
I think it's really important for kids to see parents working as well, especially if you have your own business, because it's not always an easy job. In fact, it's never easy. It's just varying degrees of challenge. And if I want my children to be successful, they need to understand a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
And seeing Mike and I work together and seeing us, you know, working really early in the morning and having them come with us and helping us with the checkouts and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie, we are looking forward to free labor when they are our interns and apprentices. So we are doing this with the thought that if we teach them how to do all this now and they understand the maintenance of the boats, they will do this for free for a while. So that is part of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good when you say a family business, it's not always actually the whole family, but like for us, it's literally the kids, the dog, Mike and I, you know, everyone's involved.
Yeah. So good. So let's go for a bit of a moment about Glasgow, because, you know, everyone tends to assume they're going to go to Edinburgh when they go to Scotland, right? And they don't think about going to Glasgow. Mm-hmm. We've been here for a couple of days now, and it's a great city. What is very exciting for an Australian, and to inform all Australians of this, is they have good coffee here, which is really exciting. There are coffee shops everywhere. So that's a bit of a thrill. But we went to a fabulous restaurant last night. What was that called?
It was called the Bothy. So it's right down the street from where we live, and it's kind of a Scottish-themed restaurant. So
the waiters had kilts on. I love that.
Yeah. Everyone wears kilts, and they look very handsome and very comfortable in them, which is great.
Yeah.
You guys had haggis. Was that your first time having haggis?
No, it wasn't my first time having haggis, but my gosh, it was. I think it was the best one I've had though.
Yeah, it's quite good with the whiskey sauce. Yeah. And then you had black pudding as well.
Yeah, I had black pudding and scallops, which was really yummy.
You had mackerel as well earlier.
Yeah.
So you've like really had the full Scottish culinary experience so
Absolutely.
far.
I've aimed for the Scottish dishes, going like, I'm in Scotland, I must eat Scottish dishes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it was really, really good. And then we walked through a lovely area of pubs and, you know, beautiful space. What's that area
we
called?
have a lot of pubs here, I'm not going to lie. But we were in Ashton Lane, which is just this beautiful like cobblestoned area. It has like a really small independent cinema, and it has these like kind of quirky pubs and restaurants that are all kind of on top of each other. And this is a university town. So there's 3 major universities, including Glasgow University, that are here. So it is a really kind of young, vibrant area to live in. And you were laughing last night. You're saying it's really quiet, and that's because like literally the university classes just finished, and so it's like a mass exodus. Everyone goes home for 6 weeks, and then everyone comes back. So you've come at a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to Ashton Lane, and then I took you to Oranmore, which is the big, it used to be a church, and now it's been converted to a whiskey bar. So your husband was very happy. Exactly. He was totally in his element last night. Like, what should we try next?
Yeah. And that was an amazing venue, but I loved the fallen halo on the spire.
Yeah.
Now that it's no longer church,
yeah.
and it is a nightclub and a bar and all that sort of stuff. That was amazing.
Yeah. Next time we'll get you to the nightclub as well. So
yeah, I get the sense the whole city has this kind of sense of humor about itself, and it's very cool.
Yeah, Glaswegians are known for their sense of humor, being friendly, and just being like by far one of those welcoming cities I've ever lived in.
Yeah. Hey guys, just taking a little break just to have a chat with you about a few things that we're doing at the Boat Princess coming up, and I would like you to know about. So we are doing the European Boat Show Tour this year, which is very exciting. I shall be at Cannes, hopefully Genoa as well, and Southampton will be an absolute must. And then I will be heading across the US to IBEX because my dear friend Anne is, of course, the director of IBEX, but also because it is a massive event for the boating industry, the equivalent in the US of Met's Trade in Europe. And I haven't been there before, so I'm excited to go there. I know they do a lot of education there as well. And It's going to be a very good event, I'm sure. So you guys know that social media is no longer shall we, shan't we, in the boating industry. It really is a necessity for your marketing and your presence of your brand to the world. So we can help you out with that, not like a social media agency would. That's not what we do, but we can deliver some content specifically by the Boat Princess about your brand or your product to actually give you a third party verification. We will not support brands we don't believe in because that's part of our brand. We have to protect our integrity and our belief from our clients that they can trust us. So if you are interested in working with us and collaborating with us, get in touch at info@theboatprincess.com and we'll send you out our media kit so we can see if we can collaborate and work on something together, because that gives you content that you haven't got time to do. And it's a little bit different. It gets you to our audience first, your audience second, and just gets you out there a little bit more in a different way. So get in touch. Now, I know you and Mike are not ones to hold yourselves back. You are very hardworking, but you also have a lot of vision and you've got a wonderful entrepreneurial spirit, and you have this massive vision ahead of you for the Freedom Boat Club and for boating generally, and so on and so forth. So what's your goal with your boat club?
Yeah, well, we only officially launched, like really officially, in the location that we're in last year. So we're still kind of newbies in this area compared to everyone else. We would love to eventually, open more locations. So we just have the one location just now. I know, like, you guys, you and Darren are such an inspiration to us because, starting, building the marina and then expanding as much as you have. And, so we'd like to kind of follow in your footsteps, basically. And we were lucky enough to kind of pick your brains last night with some ideas. But we're on the West Coast just now. And there is kind of an East Coast, West Coast divide. So we'd love to eventually go over to the East Coast, and we've been looking at places as well. We'd love to have more boats, have a bigger fleet, be able to give an even wider and varied offering to our members and our members abroad as well. Bigger events, we're trying to get connected more with the local community. We've got some amazing businesses. We've got, Loch Lomond Distillery. We've got, the place that we ate at yesterday, the Lodge on the Loch, which is a hotel and restaurant, Loch Lomond Arms Hotel, which is another fantastic restaurant and hotel and wedding venue. Not this weekend, but next weekend, we're sponsoring the Luss Highland Games. So that's really exciting. We've never done that before.
Yeah.
So just getting more involved with the local community, because, there's a lot that they can teach us as well. But they are a fantastic group of entrepreneurs and businesses. So yeah, we've got big plans and big goals.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of working our way towards that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's exciting. I mean, it's a business that you can grow, but at the same time, there's a kind of a lifestyle that comes with it. And I think that's quite important about the boating industry. The boating industry is, you don't necessarily make a massive amount of money out of a lot of the things that people do in the boating industry, but they have a lifestyle that goes with it. That whole being on the water, being outdoors, being with people and away from a screen is a thing that we get to do in the boating industry, which is, I literally have to pinch myself when I go and see my marinas, because both the Lake Macquarie location and the Bobbin Head location are so beautiful. We are the custodians of that incredible location, and that's such a privilege, but we get to be there as, in brackets, work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they say when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And that's how I feel ever since we started Freedom Boat Club. Honestly, it's just, every day is different. Every day there's new challenges. But, there's been so many days when I've just been up in the clubhouse where we've got an office there, and the sun's come out and it's beautiful. And I think, I'm just going to take 30 minutes. I'm going to go out on the paddle boards. I'm going to go out on the boat. I'm going to go over to the island over there. I'm going to go see a friend that lives across the way. And that's an opportunity I would have never had before. They say, I don't know if you've heard of the blue mind theory.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's been lots of things written about it now, but, it's been scientifically proven now that being out in the water, or even being near the water, reduces stress, gives you mental clarity. It reduces the stress hormones, and it, helps with longevity. And there's so much that you get back from being near the water. And even just like sitting there listening, sometimes I just go to the end of the jetty. I just sit there. I just close my eyes and just listen to the waves, listen to the, all the ducks that are going by. And it's so quiet and peaceful. And how many chances, especially we live in the city here, Glasgow's the biggest city in Scotland. There's not a lot of chances to just sit in peace. So I just love going up there. And I'm sure it's the same at your marinas in Australia.
Yeah, we do. I know even my restaurant team, sometimes at the end of a big day, they'll let you go and sit on the pontoon and put their feet in the water just so that they chill down, literally chill down. Yeah. Because obviously it's sometimes a very warm day.
Yeah, we don't have that problem. We don't do that, but it does wake us up and give us perspective at least. So
yeah. But they do have that option, which if you work in a normal restaurant in the city, you just don't have that option. So yeah, it's a lovely thing to be able to do, and we're very lucky in that regard. Yeah. Mm. So why do you think, I mean, my personal view is that, to bring younger people into boating, we need to have these kind of different options available to them other than ownership, because, we've got a situation where home ownership, for example, is very much more expensive than it used to be, especially in Australia. But they have the right, and they should be able to have availability to them to do wonderful things like boating. Clubs, syndication models, all those sorts of things give them that option. I think it's part of the future of boating, which is why we've invested in it in our marinas. Why do you think people pick a club over ownership? Because both options are great, but why do you think people pick a club over ownership?
I mean, you've heard it a million times. People say the two happiest days of their life are the day they buy a boat and the day they sell a boat. Everyone wants what you get out of boating, but they don't want the hassle with it. And I'm actually amazed that the subscription boat model hasn't been around, for hundreds of years, because everyone's had this problem. And Freedom Boat Club only came to the UK around 2018, 2019. So it's relatively new here. People don't actually want to own a boat. They want to be able to just go out and enjoy it maybe, 10, 12 times a year. They don't want to clean the boat. They want to be able to bring their dog, bring their family. And if they make a mess, they know it's going to be looking brand new the next time they go out on it. They don't want to sit in the queue on the boats to fuel their boat. They don't want to have to deal with the maintenance. If the power steering goes out on your boat, they don't want to have to trailer it, get out of the water and take it all the way down to the shop. How great is it to have someone do that? And it's still cheaper than owning a boat. And I think the concept is still new here, but every time we talk to somebody, they say, well, this is amazing. I've never heard of this. Why isn't this more common? And I don't really have an answer to that. I'm just saying, well, it is amazing. Come and see us. Come to Loch Lomond. We're in Luss. Come and see us, and we'll show you the whole fleet and what we really have to offer.
Yeah.
And I think as well, there's so much more focus on mental health and like really doing what you can to improve your day-to-day lifestyle. This is such an easy way to do that, you can go boating completely by yourself, alone, or you can bring a friend, or you can bring your family. It's so versatile, and it's all within the same, club, same subscription, same model. And there's very few places where you can get so much for such a simple way.
Yeah. And I think boating is a wonderful, I say it all the time, it's a beautiful juxtaposition from the busy lives that we lead. It's completely opposite. I did a search recently on why does time feel slower on a boat? Because it actually does. You feel as if the day is almost extended on you on a boat. And I don't know about you, but life is going way too fast for me.
I'm just laughing. I literally typed into Google last week, why does time go so quickly after you turn 30? I feel like today's the last day of school. I'm like, how did George just finish his first year of school? I'm just in shock. But yeah, you're right. When you're on the water, it just slows down in the nicest way possible. It's not in a boring way. just a really lovely, slow, easy way.
Yeah. It's quite special.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got this wonderful business. You've got your wonderful family. What do you see in 10 years' time for you guys? What's your future looking like? Are you still living in the city? Are you up on the loch? What's your plans?
I don't know. I think we've always just been so go with the flow, excuse the pun, but gosh, it's crazy to think in 10 years, Catherine will be 18. That's mental. So yeah, hopefully working for the boat club. Maybe taking over the help me with the admin and things. We've bought a house at Loch Lomond as well, which is a nice fixer-upper, which is what Mike and I love to do. That's kind of our second love is we love getting the blueprints together. We love designing kitchens. It sounds so boring to other people, but for us, it's really exciting.
No, I think a lot of people like that. I mean, you only have to look at the Instagram people that they've bought. That one in Scotland, they've bought the castle and they're renovating it, and that's hugely popular, isn't it? Yeah. So I think actually a lot of people don't necessarily want to do it, but they're certainly very interested in it.
It's fun even just to follow someone who does it. Like you say. And being out of the city, I don't know if we could ever fully leave the city. Like Nikki's you've had such a good taste for it since you've been here because you're staying just up the road from us. But, the subway is right on our doorstep. The restaurants, the pubs, everything. The botanic gardens are right next door to us for the kids. It's nice to have kind of the best of both worlds. So having a place out in the country and having a place here to really let you appreciate what you have. So I have no idea, 10 years. Yeah, I think I'm looking like 1 year at a time right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hopefully we'll visit Australia at least 5 times by then.
So that's perfect. I know where you can stay.
Yeah, I've heard of this great place. I've never been to Australia, and it's been on my bucket list for years. So that is by far definitely happening next 10 years.
Yeah.
Would love to go to Sydney and see the Opera House at New Year's.
Yeah,
that's been on my list for ages, and then obviously come up and see you guys in the marina and go explore. You showed all your marinas on the map to me yesterday and all the beaches. That's my favorite thing to do is just to take a boat and either go snorkeling or go to the beach.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna hit every one of these.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. There's quite a few beaches in Australia.
I've got 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. All those things we ticked off.
Yeah, brilliant. So good. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been lovely to have a chat with you.
Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun. It's been great having you up in Scotland as well.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Yeah, such a great place to visit and see, and as you say, experience so many different types of weather.
Yes, never a dull moment.
If there are any women out there listening, and young guys too, that you'd like to get into the boating industry, is there any advice you can give them to say why they should do that?
Yeah, I think go with your gut and follow your passion. I spent lots of years doing things that I enjoyed, but didn't really, at the end of the day, when you go to bed, it didn't make me excited. Do something, find first what excites you, what are you passionate about, and then follow that in some way. There's one of the best bits of advice I ever was given was your dream job probably hasn't even been created yet. So if it's not, go create it. Find what you like to do. And, Freedom Boat Club didn't exist here then, and now it is. And I'm so proud that we're part of that. Having something that you can do with your family. So if you have a family or if you're wanting to start a family, think about that as well. Think about flexible working. Come see us at Freedom Boat Club and, take a membership out and make that part of your work-life balance. Corporate memberships are so popular now, and just do what you love to do. Because life, I've found recently after a lot of personal things that have happened, that life is very, very short. And the last thing you want to do is be sitting there and having any regrets. So make sure you don't.
Yeah, love that. Great advice. So good. So everyone, it's been lovely to be in your ears as always. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. And how can anyone contact you, Ashlee? How can they get hold of you?
They can go to our website, which is fbclomond.co.uk. They can message me directly. You can do info@fbclomond.co.uk. We're We're also on Instagram at FBC Lomond. We're on Facebook. Just type in, search for Freedom Boat Club Loch Lomond. And we're in LinkedIn as well. That's been my newest task, is learning LinkedIn and getting active on that. So find me, Ashlee Lally, pretty easy to find, and connect with me and let's talk.
Yeah. And Ashlee is, by the way, ASHLEE.
That's right. Just to confuse you and trick you, I invited you and I didn't tell you how to find me. So yes, double E. That's why my actual email address is Ashlee at FBC Lomond, but I never give that out because no one ever spells it correctly. So I just say info, which comes to me directly as well, by the way. Yeah. But you can also do Ashlee, ASHLEE.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for listening. We shall see you on the water soon. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate your ears. If you'd like to connect with us, you can do so by following us on Instagram at The Boat Princess. That gives you some more insight visually as to what we've been up to and what we have coming up in the future. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Nikki Vo, The Boat Princess. And of course, a lovely way to connect with us and stay connected with us is to sponsor the podcast, sponsor our events, or just get involved with a collaboration with us in a way that we can both support each other to allow others to rise in the industry or be educated in the industry, or just feel comfortable about being in the industry and being supported. So I really look forward to collaborating with any businesses out there that would like to associate their brand with ours. And of course, a simple sponsorship is to place ads on the podcast or sponsor our events, because of course we do some amazing events throughout the year and they will increase as time goes on and sponsorship increases. Networking within the industry is of course incredibly important, and especially for women, because one, we like to support them, and two, because every now and then having a female dominated event is a nice thing to have. So we really appreciate the sponsorship of those events. You guys, I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. I thank you so much for doing so. I would love it if you could review the podcast, and that will extend our reach. And until the next episode, I'll see you on the water soon.